Forget Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. John D. Rockefeller makes them look like amateurs. His wealth was so vast that even today's billionaires can't compete when adjusted for inflation. But don't let the shiny statues fool you. His fortune was built on a foundation of controversy, manipulation, and scandal. Ever wondered how one man could control 90% of America's oil supply? Spoiler alert, it wasn't pretty. Beneath the polished veneer of philanthropy lies a web of dark truths that have been buried for over a century. And trust me, once you hear these secrets, you'll never look at success the same way again. The making of a monopoly, how Rockefeller changed the game forever. Let's rewind to the late 1800s, a time when America was buzzing with excitement over the Industrial Revolution. Oil had just become the hottest commodity, powering everything from lamps to trains. But here's the kicker. The oil industry was a total mess. Hundreds of small refineries were competing against each other, prices were all over the place, and efficiency? Forget about it. Enter John D. Rockefeller, a guy who saw chaos and said, "I can fix this." At just 20 years old, Rockefeller started out running a small produce company, but his sights were set way higher. By 1870, he founded Standard Oil, a name that would soon become legendary. His secret weapon? A mix of smart business moves and a take-no-prisoners attitude. Instead of playing fair, Rockefeller played to win. He bought out competitors, cut secret deals with railroads to get cheaper shipping rates, and slashed costs to undercut everyone else. By 1880, Standard Oil controlled over 90% of America's oil refining. Let that sink in, that's not just a business, that's a monopoly. But here's where things get interesting. Rockefeller didn't just dominate the market, he completely rewrote the rules. He created something called vertical integration, which means he owned everything from the oil wells to the pipelines to the delivery trucks. Think of it like owning the entire burger joint, from the cow farm to the fryer. This made his operation insanely efficient, but it also crushed smaller businesses that couldn't compete. Workers faced brutal conditions, and entire towns became dependent on his company. Sure, Rockefeller got super rich, but at what cost? This was the birth of a new kind of capitalism, one built on both innovation and exploitation. The shadows behind the success, Rockefeller's controversial tactics. The dark side of John D. Rockefeller's empire makes Game of Thrones look tame. Think Rockefeller got rich by playing fair? Think again. Rockefeller didn't just outsmart his competition, he flat out crushed them. One of his favorite tricks? Bribery. Yep, you heard that right. Historical records show that Rockefeller and his team made secret deals with railroad companies to get preferential shipping rates. These sweetheart deals gave him a massive advantage, leaving smaller refineries in the dust. And guess what? It was totally illegal. But wait, it gets worse. Rockefeller's workers weren't exactly living the dream either. His refineries were notorious for long hours, low pay, and dangerous conditions. When workers tried to fight back by forming unions or going on strike, Rockefeller didn't hesitate to bring in private security forces to break them up. One of the darkest moments came during the Ludlow Massacre of 1914, when striking coal miners, many working for companies owned by Rockefeller, were attacked by militia, resulting in deaths, including women and children. While Rockefeller wasn't there personally, his refusal to negotiate beforehand painted a target on his back. And then there's the propaganda machine. Rockefeller spent big bucks on campaigns to make himself look like a hero. Newspapers friendly to him praised his charitable donations while ignoring the exploitative practices that funded them. Even his famous philanthropy has been questioned. Critics argued that his donations to universities and hospitals were less about helping people and more about cleaning up his image. By funding institutions like Spelman College and the University of Chicago, he wasn't just giving back, he was rewriting history to make himself look good. So yeah, Rockefeller may have been brilliant, but he wasn't exactly a saint. His rise to power came with a hefty dose of controversy, and the shadows of his empire still linger today. The rhythm of ambition, pacing through triumphs and turmoil. Rockefeller's life wasn't just a straight line of success, it was a roller coaster of highs and lows. Picture the formation of the South Improvement Company, a secret alliance Rockefeller formed with railroads to crush his competition. Meetings held in secret, rivals scrambling to survive. It's like something out of a spy thriller. The ripple effect, how Rockefeller reshaped America. Rockefeller didn't just change the oil industry, he changed the world. His vertical integration model became the blueprint for modern corporations like Apple and Amazon. His monopolistic tactics forced the government to create antitrust laws, shaping policies that regulate businesses today. And his philanthropy? It transformed lives. The Rockefeller Foundation fought diseases like hookworm and yellow fever, saving millions. Institutions like the University of Chicago and Rockefeller University continue to inspire generations of scholars. But his legacy is complicated. On one hand, he's the poster child for the American dream, rising from humble beginnings to unimaginable wealth. On the other, he exploited systems and people to get there. This duality makes his story timeless, reminding us that progress often comes with compromise. The final revelation, unveiling Rockefeller's greatest secret. Here's the twist. Rockefeller's obsession with wealth wasn't just about greed. It was rooted in a deep-seated fear of poverty, stemming from his chaotic childhood with his unreliable father. Every move he made, every acquisition, every secret deal was partly driven by a need to protect himself and his family from financial instability. And out of his fear came innovations in business and philanthropy that reshaped the world. His foundation's fight against disease saved millions, proving that even the darkest motivations can lead to extraordinary outcomes. As the screen fades to black, ask yourself, is greatness defined by perfection